Have you ever felt stuck? You make these big, ambitious plans for yourself, like for New Year's, and you're all in. But then a few weeks later, you're right back where you started. It's frustrating, right? So, how do you actually break that cycle and make changes that stick? Well, that's exactly what we're diving into today. We're going to break down the core ideas from James Clear's game changing book, Atomic Habits. It's all about how these tiny, almost invisible routines can lead to some truly remarkable results. Okay, to get this, picture a plane taking off from New York, headed for LA. Now imagine the pilot adjusts the course by just 3 degrees south. I mean, that's tiny, you wouldn't even feel it. But that tiny shift over the course of a cross-country flight means the plane doesn't land in LA at all. It lands closer to Tijuana, Mexico. And that right there is the big idea. Small changes in our daily habits can completely alter our life's destination. So here's our game plan for today. We're going to start with the incredible math behind the 1% compounding effect. Then we'll talk about a huge mindset shift, focusing on systems and identity instead of goals. From there, we'll get practical with the 4 laws for starting and sticking with habits. And finally, we'll cover the most important rule for what to do when you inevitably slip up. We're often told that if you want massive success, you need to take massive action. But what if that's just not true? Let's look at why it's actually the tiny, consistent improvements that really create breathtaking change. So check out the math on this. It's kind of wild. If you get just 1% better at something every single day for a year, you don't end up 365% better. Nope. Thanks to the power of compounding, you end up almost 38 times better than you were when you started. But here's the scary part. It works the other way too. Getting 1% worse each day brings you down to almost nothing. Your habits are always compounding, one way or the other. So if it's that powerful, why do we quit so often? Well, it's because we expect our progress to be a straight line. But in reality, the biggest results are delayed. That early phase where you're putting in all this work but seeing basically nothing for it, James Clear calls that the valley of disappointment. And this is the danger zone. It's where most people give up, right before that explosive growth is about to kick in. Okay, so how do we push through that valley? The real secret is this massive mindset shift. It's time to forget about setting goals and start focusing on your systems and your identity instead. Let's just put these side by side. A goal is the result you want, like I want to run a marathon. The system is the process that gets you there, like your training plan. See, goals are about a quick, momentary change. Systems are about committing to the process day in and out. And think about it, winners and losers in any field often have the exact same goals. The goal itself isn't what makes the difference, it's the system. And this quote just nails it. Goals are good for setting a direction, but systems are best for making progress. So yeah, use your goals to figure out where you're headed, but then pour all your energy into the system that's going to move you forward every single day. Now, this is so important. Real, lasting change happens from the inside out. Most of us try to change by focusing on the outcome, what we get. But the most powerful way to change is to start with your identity, who you believe you are. The goal isn't just to run a marathon, it's to become a runner. When a habit is part of your identity, you don't need motivation to do it. You just do it because, well, that's who you are. So if we want to reshape our identity, we have to understand the engine that's running everything behind the scenes. And it turns out every single habit you have, good or bad, follows this exact same simple 4-step pattern. It's called the habit loop. Here's how it works. First, there's a cue, a trigger, like your phone buzzing. That leads to a craving. You suddenly want to know who it is. The response is you picking up the phone. And the reward is that little hit of satisfaction from seeing the message. This loop, running on repeat, is what makes behaviors automatic. So, to build good habits, all we have to do is take control of this loop. Okay, so let's get into the how-to. How do we actually build a better loop? We're going to use what Claire calls the 4 laws of behavior change, starting with the 2 that get a new habit off the ground. First law, make it obvious. If you want to read more, don't shove your book in a drawer. Leave it right on your pillow. Get super specific. I will read for 10 minutes at 10 p.m. in my bedroom. Or even better, stack it on a habit you already have. After I brush my teeth, I will read 1 page. Second law, make it attractive. This is where you use something called temptation bundling. You pair something you want to do with something you need to do. For example, you only let yourself watch your favorite Netflix show while you're on the exercise bike. Your brain starts to connect the hard thing with the fun thing. But look, starting is only half of it. The real trick is making it stick for the long haul, right? That's where the last two laws come into play. Third law, make it easy. We are naturally lazy. The more effort a habit takes, the less likely we are to do it. So just reduce the friction. Lay your gym clothes out the night before. And use the 2-minute rule. This one's a game changer. Scale any new habit down so it takes less than 2 minutes to do. Read before bed becomes read 1 page. Go for a 30-minute run becomes put on my running shoes. And fourth, make it satisfying. Our brains love immediate rewards. A perfect way to do this is with a habit tracker. Every time you do your habit, you get that little hit of dopamine from checking it off the list. It feels good. All right, let's be real. Life gets in the way, you're gonna have a bad day, you're gonna miss your habit. The goal isn't to be perfect. The goal is knowing exactly how to get back on track. And for that, there is one simple, incredibly powerful rule. And you have to understand this about momentum. As Clear says, lost days hurt you more than successful days help you. That one day you skip does way more damage to your momentum than one successful day helps build it. It's all about not breaking the chain. So here it is, the single most important rule. Never miss twice. Look, everybody misses once. It happens, it's an accident. But missing twice? That's not an accident anymore. That's the start of a brand new bad habit. So even if you're tired or busy, just do the 2-minute version. Just show up. Whatever you do, don't let it be 2 days in a row. And really, that's what this all comes down to. The power isn't in some huge overnight transformation. It's in the tiny atomic changes, the little 1% improvements that compound day after day into something incredible. So the only question left is, what's the 1% change you're going to make today?